Moving on to Houston Dynamo. I didn't skip any team, I swear. FC Dallas, team that do they play or do they just make players just send to Germany? What? You cannot tell me that this team actually played 30 games last year or 20 games or how many games they played. You can't tell me that. Could you tell me the score of any of them that weren't 0-0 in the first 7 COVID games? No. Anyways, FC Dallas lost Callum Montgomery to Minnesota. Obviously, the big one, Brian Reynolds over to Roma on loan, but we know he's going full-time. The most recent recipient of here, play 7 games and get a big move to Europe. Fafa Picault goes to Houston. Justin Shea goes to Bayern 2. Not a huge loss because he hasn't played. As we just talked about, Barrios to Colorado. Pablo Aranguiz to Universidad de Chile. I remember when he came in, I thought it was supposed to be such a big deal. Injuries all throughout his career here. Failed experiment, 1 assist in 840 minutes in 2 years. But then he played 20 games, got loaned back, and then he got sold there. I don't know. I was kind of hyped for him, but whatever. Brandon Servania loaned to SK and St. Polten. Francis Atuanhene, option didn't pick up. Santi Mosquera, DP spot opening up with 4 goals in 420 minutes last season, 13 goals, 5 assists in 64 games. Lost him on a free. That kind of hurts. He had potential to be really decent. And Rito Ziegler, their starting center back for the last couple years, 11 goals, 1 assist, 80 games. I know Adam is heartbroken because that means fantasy points out the window. Just going to have to draft Ryan Hollingshead every week. I don't know. But, he was 35 years old. As Connor loves to mention, that's the wrong side of 30. So they had to move on from him. But they did do some work in the window as well. Jader O'Brien, 16 goals, 2 assists in about 3,000 minutes in the Colombian League, will be a direct replacement for Barrios. Khalil El Medkar, they drafted him. Jose Martinez from Eibar is the center back that I am very excited to see. 20 games in La Liga, 58 games in La Liga 2. Will be a very good like-for-like for Ziegler. Freddy Vargas, 21-year-old Venezuelan attacker, 6 goals, 4 assists in just about 4,300 minutes. Probably a future signing. Can't see him. Well, I mean, it's Dallas, so he's probably starting every game, and then in about 4 days, he'll get sold over to Juventus for $900 million. And then their goalkeeper from last year only got in 1 game, Felipe Megior Laro from Gremio. He's very highly rated over there, but they got him back on loan, so we'll get to see if he can earn a spot. Question, obviously, is this team actually going to play games this year? Does anybody care? No, I'm just kidding. And this is kind of a up in the air question. Are they going to feel the loss of all of these players? The Reynolds, the Cannons, the Shea whenever he leaves. Are they going to be feeling this, or do they just have a never-ending pipeline? Connor.
I kind of feel like they have a never-ending pipeline, to be honest with you. And it seems like a lot of the guys that they brought in this year aren't just from their academy. Although I'm sure they'll still pump out plenty of great academy players, but I think that they've replaced themselves well, and they always seem to be hanging around the playoff picture. So it kind of reminds me a bit of what Philly's got going on right now, except they're actually spending on people instead of just harboring the money for who knows what, Philly cheesesteaks.
Interesting. Okay, Adam.
Yeah, I kind of agree with you. I think obviously they will, because it'll take time for those guys to kind of fill the gaps that those players that left, like Barrios, the Reynolds, the Picos will leave. Andrew, you made that joke about me, just having Hollingshead in my team. I would laugh, but that's 100%. That's actually what's going to happen.
I'm well aware.
He's usually in my team anytime I need. Yeah, anytime I need a Dallas player, it was either Hollingshead or Ziegler were my go-to.
I'm well aware.
Yeah, yeah, every week. But no, I think Dallas and Philly are probably the two teams in this league that could lose all these guys, and you know that they're probably going to have some academy kid come in like halfway through the season and be totally fine. Red Bull would be the other one, but like I don't actually, other than Caden Clark, I can't think of the last person to come in and like actually do anything from Red Bull 2. And if you say Brian White, I will end this call.
I won't. I'll say Tyler Adams.
Yeah, that's fair.
It's not that hard.
But
Brian
no,
was the
but
second one, but
yeah.
Yeah. So as I mentioned, so I'm just going to jump into grades here as well. I give them a B+ because I really like how they replaced the attackers that they've lost. I love the center back signing. And as I mentioned, they've only got a Reynolds replacement missing, but they've probably got 9 of them at FC Dallas too. So I'm not worried. I think there's a good window for them. And that's what I'm going with as well for the answer to the question. Adam, grade.
I gave them a C+. So I think losing the big guys that we've mentioned obviously have hurt. Those guys have been there, for a few years, but I think the fact that they have sold some players to Europe and for a decent chunk of money shows that, this league is improving, especially that Dallas Academy is obviously doing something right. So the fact that they can, now try to sell those players and hopefully use that money to bring in like a huge name guy if need be, or a few cheaper guys to fill the squad, like that's just a plus for the club. So C+ kind of evens out.
Connor.
I think that originally I gave him a B, but I'm gonna bump it up to a B+ because I gave Philly praise for the signings that the sales that they made, and I feel like Dallas made similar ones, so I want to kind of recognize them in the same way. And I think that they made good signings to replace the guys that they lost, and I do think that maybe they will feel a little bit of that loss in the beginning of the season, but I think that the guys that they brought in will be able to fill that hole pretty easily, and I think that they could actually be a sleeper good team, like strong team this year.
They would have to play games for that, but the only reason you want to go to a B+ is because I gave him a B+, and you want to be just like me. I get it, I understand it, but you don't need to lie about it.